What's up?
Baker, congrats on winning NFC Offensive Player of the Week. What does that mean to you to
Appreciate
win
it.
that honor?
I mean, it's obviously an extreme honor. Half the league gets to play. But yeah, I just think that was, like I mentioned after the game, it was one of the best total offensive games we played as a unit. And so, yeah, could have gone to a lot of our guys.
Baker, he mentioned on Thursday before that game, he's also mentioned it throughout the year that he's gone to you guys and said, when we have one of those games, we're going to know. Do you feel like that Packers game was finally the, hey, this is it, this is our moment where we see everything come together and we know it's kind of clicking?
I think so. And I know it wasn't exactly like it was pretty one-sided with the pass game compared to the rush game, but we ran the ball when we needed to. So I think for us, yes, it was one of those games that's like, okay, this is how good we can be. This is how efficient we can be. And that needs to be the standard moving forward. So to have that right now, and we're continuing to build and obviously trying to take care of it one game at a time, but this is the right time to continue to improve and get hot.
Baker, I know you guys love
Do what?
What can that belief, having a game like that under your belt, what can that do for a team?
It raises the standard. Guys get to see what exactly it looks like, and it happened in a number of ways. Guys doing all the right things in pass protection, run game, within their routes, winning man coverage routes, winning routes against zone coverage, and knowing where to sit, knowing all those spots. So it builds confidence. So guys get those internal reps. They remember it to where if they see the same thing, they do exactly what they did the last time.
I know it's very one game at a time mentality, but I was just curious if you could take a step back, bigger picture. A year ago, jumping from different teams and not having that consistency to being here in December, having played this entire season, well, not the entire season, but you know what I mean, having quarterback this entire season, baby on the way, NFC Player of the Week, like just a lot of good things have happened to you, and if a year ago you could have told yourself you'd be in this spot, like what would you think about being in the position? Meaningful December football on the way,
Yeah.
huge game this week, next week, all of it. Like, what does that mean?
Yeah, there were definitely moments in the last year and a half so that it's kind of like, all right, what's going on here? But God's got a plan, so just trusting that and taking it one day at a time, and good things will happen. So not trying to do too much, control what you can, and be in the moment, I think has been the best and biggest lesson so far. So just continuing to do that and move forward.
How does it feel different now? When you guys started out 3-1, a lot of the publicity, nobody's expecting that. You were getting, now you're on this winning streak. Does this feel a little bit different that you can continue this?
That's just how it always goes. The ebbs and flows of a year. You got to focus on what you can control. The media is gonna. It's going to go how you play. It's going to be result-based. So you can't listen to that. You can't let that dictate how you prepare, how you play. So for us, we've been in a similar situation, winning 3, obviously 3-1. We've won 3 in a row now, but handle it how we need to. Be professionals about it. The singular game mentality can't change. So the approach that we've had the last few weeks needs to be the same. So, and that'll get us to the place we want to go, and that just needs to be consistent.
It seemed like it might have been a good game plan. We saw Chris more in the slot than we've seen him, throughout the year. He's been more 60-30 kind of outside. So that might have been run game oriented. I don't know, but like, how did that benefit your connection in him?
Yeah, Chris has predominantly been an inside guy, been a slot receiver. He's capable of going outside, but doing some different things formationally, give defenses different looks, and that was part of the game plan. But just continuing to do that to where teams can't, predict what we're going to do. They can't predict their coverages based on our formations, and so just giving them different looks, presenting in different ways, and trying to attack them, different variations.
David Moore made a big play in Green Bay with that catch and run. What can you say about what he's brought to the team, maybe behind the scenes, because last game was kind of the most playing time that he's had?
Yeah. Demo's a great guy. He's been with Dave Canales and Brad Idzik in Seattle, knows our system, knows it very well. But just that veteran presence, yeah, he hasn't played a lot here, but the veteran presence to, we have overall a young group of receivers, skill guys that he adds that leadership aspect to it. So it was great to see him go out and have success because he's earned that, and we love to see that for him.
With Jacksonville being able to turn the ball over as much as they do, I know how imperative it is for this offense to make sure you don't turn over the ball, but is it an added emphasis this week that, hey, there's such an opportunistic defense?
Yeah, they are, and they do a really, really good job of it. And it's it's not just one guy, it's a lot of them. And it starts up front with, obviously they have two great pass rushers and Walker and Allen off the edge. So taking care of those guys, they present issues on their own. And then the secondary, those guys up front allow the secondary to be extremely aggressive, and they're smart players. They've played a lot of ball together. So, yeah, they're, like you said, they're opportunistic, but we have to take care of the ball, especially this late in the year. You know, the playoff mentality, it's all about the ball, taking care of it, making sure we don't do anything to hurt ourselves, which that includes, for me, penalties, turnovers, all that, negative plays. So eliminating all those things when you play a team like this, and, yeah, just trying to move the chains consistently.
The accuracy on Sunday against the Packers was kind of astounding. Like, I mean, did you feel that throughout the game? Like, wow, this ball's coming out and it's going right where I need it to be. I know the previous week it wasn't your best game in terms of completion percentage, but I mean, that number shot up by what, like 30%?
Yeah.
Like, which is what, when you have those kind of games, like, did you feel a difference when you were out there?
You can feel it for sure, but it's not just ball placement. Everybody's doing the right thing. I'm on time with the ball more so than anything in these zone beaters, and just understanding what we're trying to do attacking-wise. And so, yeah, the completion percentage is not just a quarterback number. It's everybody. It goes with pass protection. It goes with guys doing the right things on the outside and me delivering it on time and in the right spots.
Was there extra emphasis then on guys kind of as far as, you know, getting to where they needed to be on their routes or doing different
Yeah,
things?
I mean, we've been talking about that, trying to improve as a whole offense in that aspect. So that was, like we said, this was kind of the game that we turned it on all aspects. So, but yeah, it was even more of an emphasis that week.
Baker, if there was any negatives, there were 5 sacks in that game, and you had a turnover early in the game. Did you felt like you held the ball too long, and how are you bounced back? Because a lot of quarterbacks, something bad like that happens on the road early in the game. It's tough to keep firing. Right?
Yeah, and especially there, that's a tough place to play if they get a turnover, and they're a fast starting team. Green Bay is, so it's just the mentality to stick with it, stick with the plan, execute. But yeah, you're right, held onto the ball a little bit too long, especially against their edge rushers as well. So kind of that same mentality this week: get the ball out early, take your shots when you have them, but protect the ball at all times.
I was just gonna say, what did it mean to get a touchdown there, a reception too at that?
Yeah, first one of the year for him. Yeah, it's great, and you just see the energy of all the guys. For a guy that does a lot of dirty work consistently, for him to get a touchdown is awesome. So you see the happiness, the pure joy of grown men celebrating with somebody to get his first catch and touchdown of the year. It's just fun to watch.
How much of your job, because Todd Bowles mentioned the behind the scenes, right? You had come in here, obviously learn everybody and learn your job, and there's the mental aspect of that. But like, what you do that people don't see as a quarterback, as a leader, and I know a lot of it comes naturally to you because you've been in this position, but how much of that how much effort have you spent with that in terms of the buy-in? For
me, it's not like I'm going out of my way to do it. That's just honestly how I've always been. Be involved with the team, be one of the guys. Quarterback, you get a lot of the press, but you got to get down and dirty with the guys. You got to understand that you're in the process with them. Everybody needs to feel involved, and that's one thing that, you know, leadership's all about empowering the guys around you. And I've talked about how a quarterback's job is to elevate the people around them, and that's also to make them feel like everybody's a leader. Everybody's got a role here. Everybody's got something to put into this if we're going to move towards our goals. So that's just something I've always been intrigued by, enjoyed that process, and it's been easier to do here because, this is a great group.
Todd, it was either last week or the week before, he was like, there's always parity, but he's like, this year, everybody's knocking everybody off. Do you guys feel, even though 7-7, get in, that you can be as dangerous as any team?
Absolutely. It's a week-to-week league. I think that's, especially this season, has been showing that. So just for us, get in the playoffs, 1 week at a time mentality to get there, and then anything can happen. Anybody can get beat every week if you don't play your best game, and that's the nature of this game. It's the highest level of football, so you got to be ready to play every Sunday.
No, Rashad said he tries to avoid when you do the celebratory headbutt. Is there anyone that's a little more receptive to it when you guys make a big play?
Nick Leverett loves it. He truly enjoys it. So it's getting to the point where you might have to avoid him when doing it. He brings a little punch to the party.
No. What does that say though? The fact that the most willing participant in that is an offensive lineman. I mean, none of your skill guys are going for that.
No, but Nick is sick in the head just like me, so we both enjoy it.
Leverett said in the locker room that he kind of regretted having that headbutt last week.
Did he?
Yeah, he did say.
Oh, okay, I'll have to
maybe
remind him of that when he comes out pregame. He does it every time, very, very hard.
And possibly maybe even recruiting for some Sasquatch hunting.
We'll see. You know, the more the merrier when it comes to that.
Kristen, I think he was already, Gary volunteered.
Well, he's built like Sasquatch, so that would probably be all right.
What are your thoughts on playing on Christmas Eve as well here in Raymond James Stadium with all the fans here?
Honestly, playing around the holidays is always great, but it's always better when you play at home because you have family in town. You get to enjoy it with those special loved ones afterwards, and so it's awesome that we get to do it here. Obviously, winter in Florida is nice as well, so it's not like we're going to have severe weather. But yeah, you get to enjoy it. You get to enjoy it with your teammates. Hopefully, come out with a win, and it makes it even more special.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Baker.